Here I'm going to be doing a fresh installation of Fedora 41. So on their website, which will be linked in the description below, we will go to get Fedora. I want a spin because I like KDE, but you have all the other options available to you. And we go download now. And in here, because currently it's still in beta but soon to be released, you would choose you click on the beta and then click download. But I've already downloaded it, and one of the ways to write it is using the media writer, which you can get here. And you can go download, and there is also the option to go through those. I'm going to go with the ISO, and then in my downloads, go there we. And now I need to plug in the USB. And here it is. And then select right. Put in the password. And then wait. Once it's done writing, it will check the data. Oh, it's taken that long. And there we go. And so now we just go through and restart. And while we are restarting, we tap whatever BIOS thing that you need to get to the boot menu. Once you bring up the device selection, you go to your USB. And just wait for it to load. This is an old USB too. So this may be faster for you or slower depending on the speed of your USB drive. Okay, and then click continue. Yep, I want to proceed. And you can connect to the internet here if you want. And in here, this is where you would create your username and your password. And so I'm just going to connect to the internet and also create my little user account. Once you've done that, you would click on done. And then we go to our drive. So I have multiple drives. I'm going to like to go to custom. And this is where I'd done the previous video upgrading to Fedora 40. And so we go to /boot, or you delete everything if you're wanting to delete it, or leave it as automatic if you're wanting to dual boot or anything like that. This is how I go through and set mine up. So /boot/EFI and reformat that. And the root partition, go through and remove it, sorry. Create a new one that is root. And the last that would be left is the home partition. I like to have a separate home partition, because that way if you want to reinstall Linux or whatever, if you're distro hopping, something like that, it's where all your files are going to be saved. So it makes it a lot easier because it keeps your settings. And so we're going to go with X4 for the home. Matt, yep, and begin. And this should not take too long. Some people like to have a swap drive. I have 64 gigabytes of RAM. I don't use Hibernate or anything like that. But if you use Hibernate, then you may want to consider having a swap drive or swap partition. Also, if you're going to be dual booting, I suggest installing Windows on another drive because it avoids a whole bunch of issues where Windows, it likes to be the only operating system on a drive. I haven't had that issue personally, but I've read about it, and I personally just keep everything separate. With gaming, one of the reasons why you may want to have a dual booted system is because of anti-cheat. So some games do not run under Linux, such as the Call of Duty games, the Battlefield games. EA's gone through and added an update which adds anti-cheat where you cannot even open some Battlefield games. PUBG is another one that I'm aware of. The anti-cheat doesn't work. And Fortnite, if you play any games like that, you'll need to dual boot if you want to continue playing them. There is a website, Are We Anti-Cheat Yet?, which lists games so you can go through and check whether or not a game that you're wanting to play is able to be played under Linux. ProtonDB also has information on what changes you may need to do to run a game if you're having issues with it. Yeah, now we can just restart. And we have Fedora installed on our system. And then we just log in. Nice little welcome. First things first is the update. Nuggets. And I like to have numlock turned on when I first log in. A lot of people like, wait, I better like bottles. I don't really use bottles, but just to make you aware, Fedora comes with Gamemode, but depending on the distribution that you're using, you may need to install Gamemode separately. This is what I'm looking for, so that allows you to install Steam. So we just copy these over. Password. Yes. We need to install these to be able to play things like MP3s and such. Install those. You don't have to do that, but while I wait for that. So with Lutris, there's a few different ways that you can use it. You can just search the name of a game that you're wanting to play. So if you go Dead Rising 4, it'll show up the game that you're wanting to play. And if you have it in Steam, both of them are through Steam, you can just click install and it'll run an install script for the game. And I like to add it to my favorites. Or you can search it this way. And then install it. Okay, and so the next would be Steam. Yes, and it should install Wine as well. When you for Rock Games Launcher, if you go into Other, you can download the RPM for it right there. Well, it does that. This is something that you should do. So you just copy that across and put in the name of your computer. And it'll change. And here, if you click on login, you can log into your other game libraries, similar to how you can do with Lutris. So it has them there. ProtonUp-Qt allows us to install things like Glorious Eggroll's Proton. And also Goverlay, which is the GUI for MangoHud, which is all the hardware monitors in the top left-hand corner of my screen if you watch any of my videos. Strawberry is an audio player that I like. And another one just because I don't know if it had been installed earlier, and I do watch Twitch, is this. So GStreamer 1 plugin open H264. And I like to have, some people use VLC, I like to have MPV. It's a video player. Oh, so it's already installed, that's sick. Remove that from the line. What did I? Miss the R. Well, it does that. We'll look at ProtonUp-Qt. So if I haven't opened Steamplay yet. I don't like this. Nope. And down to 1. For Sunshine, if you have a Steam Deck, you can stream your games that are playing on your main rig to your Steam Deck. This is for AMD as well. So Moonlight is the Nvidia version of it. And under assets, there should be an RPM. So we go in here. We just copy this here. Copy. And then sudo dnf install Sunshine. In the description below will be a link on how to set up Sunshine. If you right click on the desktop, you can go through and change the resolution of your monitor. And you also see that there's the option to enable HDR. I'm not going to do that because my capture card doesn't support it when recording to a Mac, which is what my second computer is. And you also just adjust the size to whatever you like. Okay, now if you're on Nvidia, there are some other steps for you where you'll need to install your graphics card drivers. Since I'm using an AMD GPU, it's built into the kernel. Okay, while we wait for that, if you play Starcitizen, there's a Linux user group file that you can download. And it'll run some tests for you, and we can get that fixed. And you'll just follow that. So for CoreCtrl, after you've gone through and installed it, we want to set up our system. And so you can try and use this. And that may work. And we'll follow this. So we'll go to Fedora. Look for CoreCtrl. And we'll copy that. And that's when we go to home and we show our hidden files, go to config, and in here you will not see an auto start folder, and that is the issue. Okay. Auto start folder, and we paste it. And now, since it's now going to auto start, it will ask you for your password each time that you restart. To stop that, you'll go through and give it access to the root. So if you like that, it'll tell you what version of toolkit we're using. And we want to copy this one. Copy. And go to sudo nano or vim or whatever you want to use. And Control Shift V. That will create, I'll just double check that's the exact same. Apart from you want to put your user group in here. And then we write it out. And done. If you want to give it access to, or be able to overclock your graphics card or anything like that, this is the stage that you'll want to do. And so in here, we copy, we go sudo nano, and apart from here, we'll go /default and then /grub. And in here, just beside this one, is where you go through and add that line. And then we just, and it's already there. That's awesome. Oh, it's missing the 2. Done. PLKID. This will list all of the drives that we need. So this is how to auto mount your system. So go to sudo blkid and find the UID of the drive that you're wanting to auto mount and the partition or drives format. And so in here, we will need to go to sudo nano c/tab, and this will list all of the drives that are already going to auto mount. And here I like to go through and add the drive that I want. And so the one that has my games on it is an NVMe. And so that is not the correct one. There we go. See, NV. And we go through and that, and so I want that to be that, and this is just for easy reading, really. Get the UID. Get rid of that. And you put where you want it to automount. So I want it under media. And NV. And then the type that it is, you see right here. So it's .fs. And type defaults and 0, 0. The second one that has games on it is an SSD that I have. And should just be this one. Copy that. And get rid of this. Go across. And this one. Oops. Let me double check that I tabbed that up. There we go. That looks better. Slash media. Again. From this one will be called SSD. That's why those don't line up. That looks a bit better. And this is also .fs and defaults, and write that up. Steam. Yeah, so if you're having this issue, it could be because this is a beta. You may be able to load Steam just by typing its name in the terminal. There we go. I don't like it signing in right away. So that's where you can turn that off. And then in here, you'll need to go to compatibility and click on enable. And so ask you to restart it. I'm going to select restart later just because I want to restart the computer as well. But in here, you'll go through and choose the Proton version that you want. I usually use the most stable. We also want to turn off the shader pre-caching. It's up to you, but I normally turn this off. And I'll go through and restart the computer. And here we go. So with CoreCtrl, go through and then select settings and start minimized. And here you can go through and change what you're wanting to do with your graphics card or CPU. Click add, and there's the drives that I've just added as an auto mount. Add my there we go. And if we go to ProtonUp-Qt, we'll also be able to add Glorious Edit Roll's latest version of Proton just by clicking on install. It won't show up until after you've restarted Steam. So once you've gone through and installed the Glorious Egg Rolls version of Proton, so we'll use Starfield as an example. Click on that and you would see Glorious Egg Rolls option there. And we also want to use this command. And that is the Gamemode, which optimizes the system for gaming. And this is MangoHud, and you can just click global enable there, or if you're wanting it only to run on certain games, we would go through and add the MangoHud launch option that tells it to have that little option up there, and then the rest. And these are the different options, and in here, load, save, it should change up here. Yeah, so RAM, but this is not popping up over here. So if we go through and close it maybe, and then we bring that back up. It used to change as you hit save. There we go. Junction. That's what I want because okay. Yeah, I don't like seeing that. Oh, it crashed. But that's how you mess around with Goverlay. And that is my entire setup. Thank you for watching. If you dual boot, you'll want to do sudo time date ctl space set local rtc 0. Otherwise, each time you switch between the two, you'll notice the time or date sometimes will be out.